Right now, y'all in Staten Island, Sharon Lane.
I see all our little prophets right here. All my little street prophets gonna be coming up soon.
In a few years, gonna grow up. If they keep their head in the right direction, they gonna grow up to be somebody special too and important. Because it lies within every ghetto.
Love the organization to see the brothers united.
So we are continuing the vision of Isaiah 49:6 to wake up the sons of Jacob, the people in Staten Island. They got to know who they are.
You know, it gave me chills from back in the day when I used to be walking with the Black Panthers and the Young Lords. We out for the neighborhood, but they want to paint us as stereotypes.
Hey, y'all trying to wake brothers up. If y'all don't, the black man, you know what I mean? Come on, son. We need to be up on the totem pole with realty, economics, agriculture. Know what I mean?
Definitely no hate. Definitely no hate. I would say more of a unite as far as the minorities. More of a unite, definitely a stance of what's going on.
I said, oh, man, I love to see that unity, man.
Talk to the people of Staten Island. Now we're out here in Park Hill, going to Stapleton Projects. We're going to let them know what it is, and they need to repent in the faith of Christ. All praise to the Most High.
Brothers, sisters, contact us, IUIC, those of you that live in Staten Island. We have a school located in Jersey, and we have a school located in New York. So all praise to the Most High. Let's get down to business and do the work. Shalom.
Hazelou, we got a bishop on deck. See what I'm saying? Hazelou, we got a bishop on deck. Hazelou, we got a bishop on deck.
Hazelou, see my bishop on deck. All the rise on feet, so respect. All these damn dogs getting checked. Hey, see what I'm saying? Hey, shout him out.
Tuesday,
shout him out.
Tuesday,
put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out.
Tuesday,
shout him out.
Tuesday,
put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out.
Tuesday,
shout him out.
Tuesday,
put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play. Shout him out.
Tuesday,
shout him out.
Tuesday,
put in work, reach the people, see my bishop, he don't play.
Hazelou, we got the bishop on deck. On deck. Hazelou, we got the bishop on deck.
See what I'm saying?
Hazelou, we got the bishop on deck.
Shalom, brothers. Shalom, sisters. Bishop Nathaniel here. You know what day it is. That's right. It is Shout Out Tuesday. It's Shout Out Tuesday. And you know how I love to read your letters of exhortation and your donations of support. But before I do that, I often love to cover a little bit of our hidden history. All right. So what I want you to do right now is sit back, get your libations on, get your diet food on. I ain't going to say get your comfort food no more, because some of you are overweight and you complain you're overweight and can't lose weight. And I thought about it. When I tell y'all to go get your comfort food, you run out, you get your hot dogs, you get your fried chicken, you get your French fries, you get your hamburgers, whatever you're getting, and it's making you gain weight more and more each day. And some of you brothers, you ain't seen your friend in years. So I ain't saying it no more. I'm just going to say get your libations on, get your diet food on. That's right, diet food. I just had a little salad with a little bit of chicken in it. So let's take a look at today's history clip, all right? I want you to watch the whole thing. I'm going to start off with a book, and I'm going to show you a actual film clip from the 60s. You want to take a look at it. You want to watch it. You want to make sure that what I'm telling you and showing you in the books is accurate and it is true. So sit back, relax yourself, and enjoy today's episode, all right? Race and Slavery in the Middle East by Bernard Lewis. Page 82. By the end of the 19th century, white slavery had apart from the Arabian Peninsula, virtually disappeared, and black slavery had been reduced to a mere fraction of its former dimensions. The capture, sale, and transportation of blacks from Africa to Arabia and Iran continued, however, albeit on a much reduced scale, at least until the mid-20th century. Y'all see that? I'm going to start at the very top. Snoop quotes would approve from some earlier travelers who defend the enslavement of blacks in Arabia and condemn British efforts to free them, sometimes on frankly racist grounds. One such was the Englishman J.F. King, who visited Arabia in 1881. Using arguments familiar from other places and times, he observes that the Negro is to be found here in Arabia, in his proper place, an easily managed, useful worker. The Negroes are the porters, water carriers, and performers of most of the real labor in Mecca. Happy, healthy, well-fed, well-clothed, as such things go in Mecca. They are slaves, proud of their masters, in a country where a slave is honored only after his master. Slavery in the East has an elevating influence over thousands of human beings, and but for it, hundreds of thousands of souls must pass their existence in this world as wild savages, little better than animals. Now that was some good history, if I do say so myself. Now that was the 60s. Brothers and sisters, listen good, listen good. I said it already, but I got to say it again. While our people here in America was fighting for civil rights, our other brothers and sisters were being sold as slaves. Slave men, slave women, slave children in Arabia, an Arab world. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Stop thinking these people are your friends. And I better not ever hear one of you say, call Mecca the holy city of God. Mecca is not no holy city. There's nothing holy about it. It was a slave market then. It's still a slave market. So what? They made it pretty. I don't give a daggone about that. God don't give a daggone about that. They sold us and they killed us there in Mecca. You gots to be kidding me. Okay, now that I said that, I got that on my system. Let's take a look at today's clip, and I'm going to be right back with my biblical commentary on this thing right now. You better shut your black lips calling Mecca a holy city. Shut your black lips right there. Let's take a look at today's lesson.
Slaves were called Mamluk, or owned, and the black slaves were called Abd, which means slave. Where white slaves could rise up to respectable positions, the black slaves could not. The Mamluks had their own dynasties in Egypt and India, but the Abd slaves never did. In fact, even in literature or poetry, we hardly find an example of a black man, slave or otherwise, after the Umayyads. Even free Muslim people weren't all treated fairly across the Muslim world, but as always, there were exceptions. An early chronicler, Jashiari, writes an anecdote about a man called Abdul Hamid, who was apparently the secretary of the last Umayyad caliph. The story goes that the caliph had received a gift of a black slave from a provincial governor. The caliph was unhappy with him and told his secretary to write a letter of gratitude and disparagement. Abdul Hamid wrote, "Had you been able to find a smaller number than one and a worse color than black, you would have sent that as a gift."
Slavery ended in Mecca in 1962. Malcolm X arrived in Mecca 1964. With this information, that means if he had gotten here a few years earlier, Malcolm X might have been made a slave. Now I wonder why black Muslims don't talk about this history. I wonder why black Muslims don't talk about this. It's either fear or ignorance, or maybe both. Brothers, sisters, I know that was some good stuff. Now you got to ask yourselves, many of you may have a brother or sister that is in Islam, whether Sunni, Shiite, or Nation of Islam. Why don't they ever talk about this subject? Why don't they ever bring it up? Why is it always a non-issue with them? Is it because they're ignorant of the history of Islam? Is it because they fear Islam? What is it? Well, they don't want to talk about it, but guess what, brothers and sisters? We gonna talk about it. Now, what does the Bible say about the Arab religion of Islam? Well, y'all know where I'm going to start off with. I'm going to Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 2, where it reads, "Lift up thine eyes unto the high places." The high places where people in the past did sacrifices to. "And see where thou hast not been lean with." Lean or lying, L-I-E-N, means corrupted with. "In the ways hast thou sat for them, as the Arabian in the wilderness." So the Bible prophesies that we would sit for the Arabs in the wilderness, meaning the desert. Y'all see that, right? So remember, during the time of the sub-Saharan slave trade, Mecca was never a holy city. Mecca was a slave market. And we sat for the Arabs in the wilderness.
Attention Israel. Shout Out Tuesday will no longer be hosted on YouTube. For all future viewing, go over to and subscribe to IUIC TV. And remember, stay in the spirit. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless.